All right.
Is it going, Lise? Lise, is it live? Okay, cool. Hey, you know the routine. It is around 12-ish. We're always on ish time because, there's always a little complication, right? There's always no, because we have a house full of people, and this was the crescendo to our Fireplace tour. In case you don't remember, the Fireplace tour is where we have viewers, listeners, people in Pittsburgh who have been patrons and supporters of the podcast, and we go live from their living room because there's a fireplace, and there is one behind Cousin Lisa, who's behind the camera, but we are in the beautiful living room of Kelly and Jason. You may recognize them because they also have their children. Is it Morena?
Yes.
I love that name. And Bennett. And we're so happy to have them because they have been true to Pittsburgh for so long, and we get to be here. So thank you so much to them. You're going to see all of our guests come in and out. You're going to see all of the behind the scenes. And then the podcast comes out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Did you like my E?
It was great.
Thank
so
you.
there really is a fireplace back there, as Rachel said, but the view of the city up over from the West End, which is even better than the West End overlook, is so good. We just thought we had to put that behind all of the guests.
Our new question of the day is, we used to say, West Overbrook, right? This is the best overlook. I'm telling you, but we won't give addresses.
Right.
We won't.
All
right.
right.
You ready?
Just come to the West End Elliott Overlook, and then you'll get to see. We love that. We love inviting people to West End Elliott Overlook.
It is gorgeous, no question.
Yeah.
All
right. Ready? Mm-hmm. Here's how we start the podcast. Price is important and customer satisfaction is priceless. This phrase is key for Rorick Honda customers, past and future, to know.
And have you visited our Bloomfield location? And if not, visit RorickHonda.com for all of your vehicle needs. And now we start the final Fireplace tour, YaJagoff Podcast from.
Yeah. Benetton. Right. So when you... That was perfect, Bennett. So when you listen to the podcast, you'll hear all these important people say YaJagoff, and then we say, it's John and Rachel, the YaJagoff Podcast. And this is, if you're listening for the first time, we ask that you download it, subscribe to it, and tell somebody about it because it's all about the cool things going on in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
You guys have to come back more often because he's
excited.
He's on fire. Loving this.
To be honest with you, I thought Bennett was please saying, tell them to shut up.
Yeah,
I thought
we were hoping he was happy, but he seems happy.
Bennett is so awesome.
This is the best ever.
He's so sweet.
So before we get into our guests, we are going to talk on the blog every week. We do it in a tasteful manner, but we call out Jagoffs on YaJagoff.com. People that don't know how to park, people that are being mean to others. And so this week we had a couple. We had one, Bill Rakoff, who used to be on KDK Radio, sent us a picture of a Range Rover taking 4 parking spaces in a mall parking lot.
Who does that?
Yeah,
that's right. Exactly.
Right?
That's exactly right. And we have no idea how, but we love the fact that someone from Maryland is still patroning Pittsburgh, right?
Right.
There you go.
And then we had some Lenten rules refresher.
John's not even a Catholic anymore, and he's
They put me up on waivers
everybody.
after I got divorced, so I became a Presbyterian. I was a free agent. The Presbyterians picked me up on waivers. But anyway, so we had to do a little Ash Wednesday refresher. So you have to go look at it because it has a good little YaJagoff branding in there.
Which was the same day that we got to talk to Father Nick from my parish and talk about the importance of Ash Wednesday. How cool was that?
Who likes the phrase YaJagoff in the term of endearment?
He stops me after church all the time to tell me. So there you go. And then we actually paid homage to ourselves and others who were patroning the Bonnie Diver Hairpiece charities. We were crowned king and queen because we raised a good bit of money because of you guys. Yeah, so we were super excited because I get chills when I think about how we put messages out and literally $700 and some came through in one day. So we thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the fact that we raised $700 just in the online portion was interesting because it was $10 increments.
Yeah.
So
that was just Friday into Saturday.
That's right.
So super proud of you guys. We're not the true heroes you are, and we appreciate it because it's a great cause. One wig is $500. So think about how much was raised. So kudos to you guys. That's it. We get to talk to this amazing family. Here, Bennett. I agree.
Hand it over to Bennett.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
So in case you don't know, we are up in the West End area.
Gorgeous,
and this is how I show my age because not one guest knew this fact, is that the neon Christmas tree that has been up in Pittsburgh for the holidays for I don't even know how many years. You guys could probably comment on that, but I remember it as I was a kid and since the 80s, Jason said. So this is where we are. And I always wondered, where was that tree? And when we met Kelly some time ago, she's like, that's my house. I'm like, oh my God. So Kelly, Jason, thank you for opening up your home for our Fireplace, almost said porch, Fireplace tour.
That's coming up.
Yes, that's what we hear. Yeah.
You guys are so Pittsburgh. Like, the fact that people recognize that you were on TV before, but you have done so much more than that because you are so ingrained in the community, both of you. But we always knew you were community supporters. But talk to us a little bit now about how it's all making sense and it's a little bit easier now that you can kind of be here more often and not have to be on air, and you can work as a team together to really build your community. That's what's important, right?
Yeah, and oh my gosh, and he's like, right now, I have to give kudos to you right away because, so we started LTN Properties. I guess I should start back with that, with Love Thy Neighbor Properties. Right. And our goal is just to rehabilitate homes in the neighborhood of Elliott, just in this neighborhood. We have a lot of blight, we have a lot of condemned properties, we have a lot of trash. And so you don't like to talk about the bad stuff, but the only way to talk about the bad stuff is then to turn it into something good and start to bring it to light. So we started to purchase some properties and redo them, and he's hot and heavy right now. I mean, he comes home with dust and because he's been working really hard. We have a place right now that hopefully in about a couple months we're gonna have a big party there that maybe you guys will be invited back to.
Maybe we better be on our
She
best
said
behavior.
the keyword party.
Yeah, for a big open house and to showcase and to show off the neighborhood, but to show off our house that's going to be all done and ready to go. And we want to do it and have fun and have it be a community experience.
Right.
Because it's all about promoting this area, promoting the West End, how great it is. You can still get a really affordable house over here. And we want to just keep having everybody move over here. So just come join us.
Jason, was being handy your thing prior to this, or have you YouTubed everything to figure it out? Because I'm not a handy guy. I have no idea.
The answer is both. I mean, I'll like readily admit that, there's sometimes where I have to kind of YouTube things because it's not like I have an idea of what I want to do, but maybe somebody's done it before. I mean, that's what YouTube's for. It's like, so you don't spend an hour doing it, you spend 15 minutes doing it.
Yeah.
But everybody YouTubes stuff.
Yeah, everybody. I think contractors back there but yeah, truly, it was. I've always had it's just a passion for like putting my hands on things and figuring it out and building things, being creative. From a technical perspective.
He's done a lot of the stuff around.
Yeah. Well,
he
and
doesn't wanna say that, but
the place is beautiful. That's for sure. And
it is.
we were asking Jason, this is a lot of this your adaptations of what was here. So those that are listening to the podcast, talk about that as far as what we're seeing here. This is your work here, or about 50-50.
I wouldn't go that far, honestly.
Okay.
It was a 9-month process of crews here, every week. From January of 2015 until about October of 2015, until it was completed. But
to make it handicap accessible.
To make it handicap accessible.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I say that, I'm talking about the major portion of the work that's been done on our home.
But don't be shy. He's like all the tile, all the stuff. There's a lot of stuff.
What time allowed for?
All the outdoor decking and stuff. He does it.
The pinnacle in my mind of the balance or the compromises, I guess, that I was taking with my time was the fact that I stayed up, I think, all night installing radiant heat tubing for the second floor here in the house. Like literally pulled an all-nighter, went and slept for 18 minutes in our bed, and then I drove into the base and I flew to Iceland later that morning.
Same, but I didn't want to brag.
I mean, who doesn't do that, right?
So
including Iceland.
So when the guy I was flying with heard how much sleep I had gotten, he's like, just go to sleep.
There you go.
So it's like, autopilot, and then get a couple hours now.
Nice.
Anyway,
That's
it was
commitment.
there was just, we put a lot of work into it.
You've made a lot of husbands mad. They're all dissing on you right now because you're giving them a
he's
bad name.
He's destroying the curve on husbands.
Come on and help me, and I'll help you.
Yeah.
It's a joint effort.
No, but that is truly your, the minute we were around Kelly, and we've not had the privilege of meeting you until now, but everyone who follows you gets that vibe that you are truly about the community spirit. And the fact that, people talk about other communities that are more well known, right? We know Lawrenceville has been built. We know the East Liberty area has been built up. North Side has been built up. Millville's on its way. And to know that you're looking at an area that people sometimes disregard, right? That is so important and special because you do have a place for where you want your family to be. You're not moving somewhere where you can say, well, I can go to this place. You're keeping your roots where it is. What is so special about this area to you guys?
I love the West End. We moved
I
over
do
here
too.
18 years ago.
Right.
It's close. You can throw a stone to downtown.
Sure.
You know,
No.
you can throw a stone to downtown. Sorry, I know, right? There you go.
Let me say
Hi, hon. I know, right? I know.
like you've never done
Yeah,
this.
no, I mean, you can be to downtown in 10 minutes. You can be to any of your workplaces. You can, it's inexpensive living compared to other parts of the city where
Exactly.
houses are a lot more expensive. You can still rehab. You can still live here. We love it. We walk around. If you want a good workout, you can do the hills, you know. It's like, but it's just great. I mean, it's just easy living here. And most people, when they come to see the West End proper on Main Street, they go, oh my goodness.
Right.
Look at this cute little village area. Yeah. And we're downtown in 10 seconds. Why did I never come over here before?
Right.
So we like the West End is the best end, and we're getting people to come over here.
I like what you did there.
Wild, Wild West.
Kelly, you are the
Yeah,
epitome of the word we hate, but it's a great word for you.
no.
Pivoting.
Pivot. I knew you were gonna say
Pivoting, right?
pivot, yeah.
You know, you completely changed careers. So talk about, what that took for you to relearn, for you to learn real estate and completely pivot.
Oh my goodness.
Didn't I pass out on the floor the one day? Not literally, but almost. After I took my test, the day I came home.
There's a lot of lack of sleeping in this place.
Yeah.
I can feel it.
So we never
No one
sleep.
sleeps here,
So
yeah.
Bennett's always awake. So
Yes.
if it's not for our incredible 2 nurses that we have, and somebody was just asking me, that's a whole nother podcast some other day. Somebody was asking
how
about
we
nursing
survive.
and how we, through Medicare, we're so thankful for Pennsylvania and for what we're blessed with and our services here in Pittsburgh. That's a whole nother podcast some other day.
Yes.
So we get some sleep during the week a little bit if we have, help with Doodle. With Knucklehead over there. But I think, when I first left doing TV, I wasn't honestly sure what I wanted to do. I wasn't. And I think we started to sit in November. I thought maybe I'll stay home and take care of you guys and drive you crazy or something. I don't know. No, I had Thanksgiving. We had some time. But then by December, I was kind of like,
Itching a little
Antsy.
bit.
Sure. Right.
and then we started to think, we drive up these streets every single day.
Mm-hmm.
What do we want to do?
Right.
He's retired from flying in the military. I'm now, retired from TV.
Mm-hmm.
Forever going to start redoing houses and fixing our neighborhood.
It says we hit the half-century mark.
Yep. Turning 50. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, and then it just became evident that I needed to get my real estate license, and now that's, taken off.
Yes.
And it's a blast. I mean, everything's a blast.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, I
exhausting
think
and
the things
tiring.
that are
Right.
going on aren't necessarily part of the plan, that we talked
Yeah.
about
Sure.
a year ago. It wasn't necessarily to have her become an agent, essentially working for a brokerage. The thought was that she would be the real estate expert,
Yep.
helping to sell the properties that we redo. But the fact is that it takes a long time to redo a house that's been sitting vacant for 15 years.
Yeah.
And so the timeline on these places are really, it's a lot longer.
We've had to extend.
Okay.
Well, you learn things as you
we're
get
learning.
into it. Yeah, right,
we
right.
modify our expectations
Yeah.
based on that. We're doing boutique rehabs. It's not just fix and flip, investor grade, kind of stuff. But
a lot of the stuff you see, like we're going to be doing it well.
yeah,
Yeah.
But
Love
for her,
this. Yeah.
it was the the realization that she was good at pretty much anything she puts her mind to.
Thank you.
And almost universally acknowledged by people in her class and people all over the place. But that kind of took off and realized, okay, well, maybe that's the direction that she's
Meant
kind
to-
of best to take right now.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like a little bit of TV and media on steroids when you're marketing
Sure.
a house.
Yeah, I
mean,
guess,
that's,
yeah.
That's
Well,
why you call me, and I
you're the
love
front face,
to market
yeah,
and sell.
yeah.
And you
know?
were used to it, so you can
Yeah.
kind of take what you knew for so many years
Right.
and figure out, how do I apply it now that works for me?
Oh,
and
I
that's
love
the
it.
beauty of
It's
it.
so much fun because
Yeah.
I get to kind of be really, really creative, and I love my drone videos and our,
Yeah,
and
same.
our Facebook Live,
Same.
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Now, before we present you with the gifts that you get for being our our Fireplace. Introduce us to your
Yeah,
kids.
we wanna
We
find
know
out.
Bennett. We know.
We met Marina before, though.
At
you
the
did.
parade.
Yes, at
yeah,
the
we
parade.
just did the parade just a little bit ago. I know. I'm sorry. I always mess with her beautiful hair.
Is she like,
This is I know, Mom.
growing it for a purpose, right?
Yeah.
oh, why are you growing
Tell
your
us
hair?
about it.
I'm gonna donate my hair.
Oh, really?
That's so wonderful.
Oh, that's cool.
What organization?
Lots of love, or was it somebody else?
We're gonna chat with Hair Enhancements, where
Okay.
I got my 2 wigs from, and,
Okay.
and Debbie and everybody who was there, and we're gonna talk about how they want to do it with the donation. They don't even know that yet.
Okay.
So, but she's been growing
Breaking
it so
news.
that
That
we
is
can
so
go.
wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah,
That is so great. What do you love most about living here?
It's hard. I like the animals.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good answer. Meaning from here, not all around the community. Yeah.
Do you
have
go to
quite
your
the
friends'
animals here.
houses and look out the window and go, yeah, whatever? Because your view is so beautiful from up here. Like,
She's got the best view in the house.
is
got the best
that
view in
right?
the
Do
house.
you? Yeah. Do you love that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we've heard from your mom and your dad what a great sister you are as well. So kudos to you, because we know that you're just you're a good, wholesome family, and we appreciate what you do for our city, all of you. So thank you. Yeah.
She's an awesome kid. She's
She
an awesome
is.
sibling. I mean,
Yay.
really, because she's fluid at all times because
Yes.
our
Okay.
plans change a
You
lot.
have to be.
We're
Right.
always
Yeah.
jumping around, but she's like, you're awesome
And that's
with
the
all
greatest
of that.
gift for a kid to learn is
Yeah.
how to pivot, right?
Yep.
Like that you have
And be
to
resilient.
Be resilient.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent basketball player.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They started in volleyball, and she just won the spelling
Talking my
bees.
language.
At school.
Nice.
Congratulations. Well, listen, these are
Yeah.
your gifts from all of our local businesses.
Thank you, guys.
You have a couple. The YaJagoff is not to be self-proclaiming. Yin's Lids, who are gals, they do so many cool things. We wanted you to see their amazing things. There you go. I love
There
it.
you go.
I love it.
Looks good. And we
And-
got you some TV remotes.
Okay, that's cool. And a Nancy Drew book.
There's Fudge from Spectrum Fudge, which they started you have to look at their mission. They started and named their company because of their son is on the spectrum. And so they did that to help employ him and
Oh,
folks
I
that
love
they
that.
know. And Yin's Lids.
Oh, that looks
and
good,
you
too.
get
Wiki Wag candle.
you
we've
don't
been
need this
talking
here,
about.
but you get a YaJagoff Pittsburgh parking chair Christmas ornament.
You don't know. I love Christmas ornaments.
We know
There
you
you
do.
go.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
so we
always everywhere we go. We always get something.
And then you get glasses from Sin Bin Creation, penguin glasses.
cool. Oh, those are so cool.
And the candles.
And the
candles
candle.
are Rachel's favorite.
They really are. And listen, people have given us candles over the years to just be like, oh, would you talk about it? Michelle's are my absolute favorite. I drove to a place I didn't even know existed. Where did we go before Christmas to buy 6 candles? That's how much I like
Out near
yours.
Oakdale or something.
Yeah,
past
who's
Oakdale.
going to Oakdale? Not me if I don't
no.
have to.
Oh.
But I went
Well,
for
we
Michelle.
used to go to Oakdale. we know we used to go there
yeah.
all the time for the commissary.
Right,
Yep.
the commissary.
Well, there's that.
I'm
yes.
in Oakdale. In
But
fact, I'm out
The
there.
cool thing about WikiWag's candles is they have a great mission, and all of their candles. Well, we'll talk to them in a minute. You can. How about that? We'll let them tell the
And
story.
I might light
They
a
have
candle
great
because I'm going to
mission.
get rid of that silly candle that
Right,
I
she
had
didn't
like
when
what
you
you had
came
burning.
in.
No,
Right.
she did not like what you had burning. But listen,
Get rid of that
Kelly,
candle.
Jason, where does everybody find you and follow you so that they can know more about your mission and
Sure.
maybe help with the community building?
Yeah. So
So, Love Thy Neighbor Properties, aka LTN Properties LLC, is on Instagram at LTN_properties_LLC. Forgive us, we were Insta rookies when we started it. So,
That is good stuff.
Right, it's good.
We'll put it in the show notes also.
yeah, he doesn't do the social media.
good.
I'm still because we were just joking too. I've got to get better at Instagram, and I'm on
it's
Instagram,
tough.
but I don't do much on it. I mean, all my stuff kind of carries over. But
Yeah.
you know, because we're old, I do Facebook.
Same, I know.
So it's like, sorry.
where do they find
So
you?
Kelly Frey, Frey, Kelly, Kelly Frey or Kelly Frey Realtor. It's all
Yes.
on there. Right,
We love
Pook?
it. Right on, Ben.
Yeah, and we
Listen.
didn't say Bennett, but Bennett's over here hooping and hollering. I know
Yes.
we did
Bennett,
Morena,
we love
sorry.
you.
And it is
We
a
think
pleasure
you're
to
great.
meet him.
Yes.
Everybody
Yes.
knows Bennett.
He's an
I know.
inspiration. You're all an inspiration. All right, question of the day. Did you see it?
I did see it.
you
I know
like
it's
it?
because of me.
It's for you guys.
no.
Everybody gets it, so they get to listen to it. But you
no.
guys are the first
Oh
ones.
no!
All right.
Put your fingers in your ear.
Go in your soundproof boots, you guys. What is your go-to phrase when you don't know someone's name? And this is because of John. What is your go-to phrase when you don't know someone's name? Here's what John does.
You're gonna know my
Rach,
secret, though.
It's them. Like
if I'm solo, I just I talk about whatever
Yeah.
talking about.
Right.
What's up?
I skip it and hope they don't notice.
Yeah, right.
Hey, thanks for coming out. I
Am I
appreciate it.
boring? Is it when you're first meeting them or when you're saying goodbye and you forgot?
Kelly, you're complicating it.
I know.
It could be either. Just weigh in.
If I'm first meeting, I'm like, hey, I'm Kelly.
Right.
Yes.
Pause.
And they're like,
You know?
what? And then
Hey.
they go, you've seen me 3 other times. That's my problem.
That's
They
what
go,
happens
oh
to
yeah,
John.
I've seen you 3 other times.
Right, but I
Then
still
I'm
don't
like,
know your name. You know?
I'm with Morena. Her brain is unbelievable. She
remembers everything.
remembers
Gotcha.
everything and everybody.
She's your wing
So I
person.
just go, what's that guy's name again?
That's what I do with Rachel.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I give
Shoot me
context
your
clues.
contact information.
Yes.
Text
Yeah.
me all your stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Here's my card.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or if you're like me, you go, now, how did you spell your last name again? And they go, Smith.
Yeah.
You're like, ah.
Jones.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Listen, I use context clues, but sometimes I mess with John, and I'll be like,
funny.
"Do you remember them from that party?" And he's
Yeah.
like, "I'm gonna kill her."
Yeah.
So
We should just be honest. I did
Yes.
have somebody, and I know it's everybody else's turn, but I had somebody the other day. I was in a conversation, and then finally on the phone, they finally said, "I'm so sorry. I was trying to figure out who I was talking to. Who is this?" And I started howling because
Be honest,
Because
yes.
I said, "That's awesome."
Yeah.
I said it's Kelly Frey.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
me, yeah.
Yeah. And this is another
true.
agent
People
that we're
appreciate
doing a
it.
deal together. I was like, "So you need to know who it is."
that is so funny.
The price just went up.
That is so funny. You guys, thank you so much for
Thank
opening
you
your
for
home
opening
to
your
us.
home. We appreciate
and
it. It's
a
we
pleasure
appreciate
having
it. So
everybody here.
you'll get to hear everybody else's story.
We have
now.
Yeah,
some
I can't
music
wait to see and
produced by
hear.
Chris Dreamer next.
I can't wait.
Cool.
Thanks, guys. Can't wait.
All right,
Yay!
thanks, guys.
All right, and who's second?
We'll slide out of the couch.
Lisa and Michelle. All right.
This is fun.
You were
No, I think.
Use our sofa.
Oh, it's Tracy.
when I told you, I'm like, just make yourself comfortable.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Who wants coffee? Who wants
I'm good, thank you.
Lauren might want coffee. Lauren,
Yeah, if you want, you could bring it in, draw it in a little bit, if you want.
all right.
All right.
Him too. Yeah. Come on. Please.
As long as you stay inside the red pillow, we should be good. Oops, you're good. You're good. All right. Bum, bum, bum. All right, coming in for music. So we are back at the home of Jason and Kelly for our last Fireplace tour. You were listening to the music produced by Chris Dreamer. And we have Cousin Lisa, who everybody knows on social media as Cousin Lisa. And we have Michelle and Marty. I almost said Mark. Michelle and Marty from WikiWags Candles.
Marty, see, you can use your own question.
Right, but
What do you do?
I knew
He
it was
didn't
an
use
M-word.
my context
I knew it was
clues.
an M word. So, anyways, you guys helped us through the Fireplace tour. We're here at the last Fireplace tour, and you guys gave us items. So, CL, Cousin Lisa, tell us a little bit about Sin Bin Creations.
Well, I repurposed, used broken hockey sticks and make them into frames, benches, pizza cutters, grill accessories. I just started making glasses and cornhole boards as well.
And somehow you get these sticks that have important names on them.
I do. I have a little connection with the Penguins, and I'm lucky enough to make some stuff for the Penguins, make some benches for John Tagnoletti. Get some sticks from them. I get some sticks from you. I mean, you're pretty important too, John.
Well, yeah, mine have no. Mine still have all the goals left in them
happening?
because I've scored none with them. Yeah.
Well, I mean-
Tracy and Lisa love John. I need someone to be in my fan club because it's getting nauseating.
But we're
I can't.
related, so I mean,
Right.
you have my love
Michelle,
all the
will
time.
you take it? Thank you. Thanks
Yeah.
for taking that torch.
Michelle
Thank
and
you.
Marty, WikiWags Candles. You guys jumped in on with both feet for this when we told you about the Fireplace story. You had no idea what it was, so here you are on one. Came to a really cool one at this point.
I mean, you picked a good one, Michelle.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Glad to be here. It's
So,
beautiful here.
isn't it gorgeous? So, what area of the city do you guys live?
We live in Robinson,
Yeah.
so we definitely in the West End, but we're trying to reach out to so everywhere in the city that we get known, and we're trying to branch out and expand so everyone's aware. We were giving Kelly the business about the candle in the back.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's a
love it.
Yankee candle.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the end of it we'll have
we'll be
transitioned
burning
her
it.
over and switched her into a WikiWags.
Yeah,
fan.
listen, we're gonna blow it out and throw it away before she even knows. She's over there doing her own thing,
Hey,
so she
we have
won't
no
know.
ill will towards anybody else in this business. We love the competition. It makes us,
Well-
work harder and make better products.
And listen, I've said this before, and Michelle is easy to get to know, and we hit it off right away because of Cousin Lisa, all seriousness,
You're welcome.
because Pittsburgh is 6 degrees, right?
Yeah.
And when we got the candle, I thought it was amazing that she was even so willing to send it. And I burned it. And I have to tell a secret. I burned John's too. And he, and he felt awkward whenever we met you in person. And you were like, what did you think of your scent? And he was like, I loved it, but I smelled it for 3 seconds at Rachel's house because she
Smelled
took
at
it.
Rachel's house.
Yeah.
So that's a true story, Michelle.
Well,
But
it's
then-
funny. I caught on to that because he looked over and I said, "Oh no!" I was like, "Does she not share?" So
She did, but then you gave me one, and I have Chocolate Lab,
Chocolate Lab.
which is fantastic. And it, as I said before, it kind of makes me angry when I'm burning it because if I don't have any chocolate in my house,
He's
I get
angry. Yeah.
I'm like, it smells like chocolate, but there's none of it to eat.
There you go.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So you both left your corporate jobs or just not
No,
corporate,
so
but
we both work full time. So this was our hobby
together.
together.
Okay.
But then once we got started, it just was bigger. So it is now a full-time job as well. So
And we got off to a really good start because of Pittsburgh Today Live. Within a month, they did a segment for us about new startup businesses in Pittsburgh. It was only a month after we launched,
Right.
so we're really new.
Right.
And Heather and David did a great job of
Yep.
promoting our product.
They're great
we were
people.
sold out that day, and it was exposure that we couldn't have got on our own. And we're really grateful. We still have customers from people who just happened to be watching that day.
Sure.
And it's
Wow.
been fantastic for us. Their favorite candle was the Woofles.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, the
Okay.
waffle.
And
Yeah.
I've wondered since that day who got to take it home. I
Oh.
wondered, did they flip a coin? Was it a rock, paper, scissors? Who
We'll
got
find
to
out.
take
We
the
talked to
Woofle?
them on Monday. We'll
You'll
find
have
out.
to ask them if they
Okay.
remember who got the Woofle scandal.
I feel like it was Heather.
I feel like it's scandal.
I'm going to vote David because David, he sniffed it. If you watched the segment, he sniffed it like 100 times and he's like, I love this.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm curious.
All right, we'll find out. So we appreciate the fact that you gave literally to 4 different homes, which we think is so important because that is so Pittsburgh, where you were all in, but all of you were willing to give up your items, and you're very good with fundraising in the community. So kudos to you guys. We really appreciate you. And where does everybody find you and follow you so that we can get more product?
Facebook or Instagram at Sin Bin Creations.
The ultimate stick figure
With
is
a
that what-
K.
No,
Creations
the new
with a
stick
K.
The
figure.
new stick
the new
figure.
stick figure.
Who came up with that?
My favorite cousin came up with that. I needed a tagline, and she got me.
And how about you guys? Where do they find your candles?
We're on Facebook and Instagram, WikiWags_candles. And you can always find us. We're doing live vendor shows and events all over the city.
Sweet.
I actually have a quick question for all of you. Is it difficult now with Pittsburgh having so many pop-ups, so many vendor shows to choose? And how do you guys do that? Like, how do you decide which ones you're going to attend?
So that is a great question. So we're constantly looking everywhere.
no.
So we honestly have vendor shows that we do every year that we love. Like Garrison Days is amazing in Beaver. But our motto is we always try one to see how it goes. I think even being there, meeting people and, just putting our name out there is more than we can ask for. So we pretty much look online, word of mouth, and just go with the flow.
Yeah, there's so many great small businesses and other vendors. It's like a tight-knit little community of everyone that looks out for each other. So we'll share information. Hey, we know we did this show last year. It was really successful. You should do it. Or, this one's coming up. You might want to look into it. So we share that information. Everyone's always, promoting each other online on their Facebooks and Instagrams and everything. I love how this community is like so strong and everyone
That's
looks
cool.
out for each other.
That's cool. All right, question of the day. If you don't know somebody's name, how do you get out of it, pretty much? What's your go-to phrase? CL?
You guys want to go first?
Sure. I don't fake it. I say, I'm so sorry. Don't hate me. But what's your name again?
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
Honesty's the best policy, yeah.
My face says it all. So they know immediately that I don't know. So I'm not going to even try.
Nice.
I just try to slide in a hey, buddy. Or,
Yeah, a
Yeah,
buddy or a
I go,
yeah.
yeah.
That's a good
Hey,
one.
bud. What's up?
Please.
good to see you. Or,
Well, I kind of remember everybody's name just saying because I have a good
she's
memory.
that person.
But we're gonna go with my grandfather saying he would always call everybody Ace or Slick. If he didn't know anybody do that, he would be like, "What's up, Ace? What's up, Slick?" You know, that's what he would do. So
We have a really good friend now who, Elena from Vintage 416. Do you remember this story? And we were at an event and I'm like, I know her and I don't know how. And she came over and said, congratulations on winning City Paper's Best Of. And I was like, thank you. You? And now she's a very good friend of ours, but I never did tell this story. So I'll be anxious to see if she's watching to know that that's what
Well,
we're
we
doing.
appreciate what you guys do for the Fireplace tour. Thank you so much.
problem. Thank you.
We'll do it again for the porch tour, hopefully.
Yes, we'll bring you
Yeah.
on again. We'll pick some good
Cool.
places. Thanks, guys.
All right, some more
Next
music
up,
coming up from
Kim.
Chris Dreamer. So Kim, come on in here, and Tracy, as Kim's getting situated, Tracy, why don't you come in here too? I love the fact that I love when we could put Rachel on the spot. To be honest with you, so
Wow, am I getting a dry?
you just heard Rachel talk about how John gets everything. Blah, 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 blah. Tracy,
I say brah, brah, brah.
please.
all the time.
Yes.
He always gets stuff.
Please tell everybody what you've been working on.
So honestly, I'm telling you, well over a year, I have been trying so hard to find Rachel a Grease presentation, a Grease play, a Grease, I don't know what.
Not like Grease is
She
in
keeps
like
saying she wants
leftover
to play
from me.
Rizzo,
to play
right?
Rizzo
I want
in Grease.
I just want to sing Freddie My Love.
Okay, I just want to tell you.
Okay.
It's
It's too hard.
No. I have tried playhouses. I have tried High School Musicals.
Nobody wants me.
Nobody is performing Grease this year.
Okay. Phew, they don't not want me. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So I found.
Oh boy.
So Jurgles in Drusky Entertainment is hosting Grease.
Uh-huh.
It's a Canadian
Like pay
team.
homage. Okay.
Yes. So we tried to get you in there.
They
tried.
don't.
The best
I'm
I
not
could
Canadian.
do right now.
I'm not
wait,
Canadian.
The best I could do right now is 2 tickets to the presentation on
Right.
Sunday the 5th.
But I want you to know
Boom, we're
that she's
in.
been working on that for a year.
You are what a good
You
friend.
can stop
No,
chronic
I'm
complaining.
not even kidding
Right.
you.
So
So
what
she-
you're telling me is pick a new play. I got a new
There
one.
you
I'll-
go.
Okay, I'll
There
declare a
you
new
go.
one.
And we're
You're
like,
the best.
Yes.
Trace, you're the best.
Actually,
I'm
really,
excited.
what are you telling her? Stop your bitching. Right.
I didn't say
Right.
that,
Who
John.
says that? Thank you so much. You're so awesome. We'll be
Tracy,
there.
yes.
And I will get on stage.
I was
Yeah, I
just
know.
going to say
She
that.
will work her
Maybe
way.
get the front row seat, Rach. And you'll be
Adam
on stage.
Valen, get me on stage.
Nice.
That's all I'm asking.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Nice.
You're
All right.
God, you're
Thank you.
welcome.
Tracy, that's
Freddie,
awesome.
my love.
Oh, you can.
I miss you more than words can say.
All right. So now our
Does no one
guest,
know this? All right.
Kim. It is so nice.
that one, sorry.
How shocking is this little place up here?
Oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
I mean,
It's
Kim,
just phenomenal.
You're a lucky lady. We met you about 2 weeks ago, and we were like, let's get you on the podcast. Tracy goes, well, I have one opening, and this was it.
I know. I'm
How
very
cool.
lucky. I so appreciate you guys.
I'm
That's
teasing
why
you.
I brought you some gifts
We
because my
need to
mom
look.
told me never to go anywhere empty-handed.
What?
But this is appropriate for many, many reasons, as you will see.
Oh my God! Little chimney.
It's a little solo stove. This is one of my
my
favorite
God.
things in the world.
You are about the cutest thing ever. I'm so glad that I met. John didn't want to meet you. I did.
You, you can take this on your tailgating tours.
Oh my God, Kim, that is such a good idea. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this product. I've gifted this. I don't even own one. I've gifted it so many times. I don't even own my own, but
Oh my
maybe
gosh.
someday.
Yeah.
But to go along with that,
I thought
I
that was
love
a
this
dryer
lady.
vent, to be
Same.
honest with you.
no, they're not that big. I also brought you some fire starters,
Oh my gosh!
and these are totally
She's brilliant.
recycled from. There's dryer
Dryer
lint
lint.
packed into empty toilet paper rolls, and I wrapped them
Stop
in
it.
wax paper, and this will help start your little fire in your little solo stove.
That is so
Wow.
clever. Oh my gosh.
Kudos.
With your sticker on it. And who doesn't have toilet paper rolls in their house?
Right.
I mean, Kelly, look at this. Go ahead. You tell
This
her,
is a
Kim.
little fire starter.
You're fine.
It's a empty toilet paper roll packed with lint that I pulled out of my lint screen from my dryer
Brill.
that everyone should clean every
Do you
time
know
you
what
use
brill
your dryer,
means?
by the way.
Which I don't
Yeah.
all the time.
Well, now
Okay,
you
so
will.
that's good.
And then it's wrapped in wax paper with my little sticker on it, and it's a perfect fire starter.
It's a fire starter.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure, absolutely. Here, you can
I
have
love
that
it.
one.
You are such a good gift giver. Well, thank you. So we
love to
met,
give
you know,
gifts.
typical Pittsburgh, right? We met Kim through the internet. We actually, you sent a message to our website. We contacted you, and we found out that you're a Guinness Book record person, right?
Well, Dryer
Ish.
Vent Wizard is,
Yes.
not myself. I
Right.
can't
Well,
take-
you could say you are. You're
all
part
right.
of it. Yeah.
Right. Dryer Vent Wizard collected dryer lint from all of the franchise locations across the United States, and they decided they were going to go for the world record biggest lint ball. You know, Guinness, I don't even know if there was one, honestly, before Dryer Vent entered the competition. But they collected 1,300 pounds of lint, and after they removed the socks, the toys, the driver's licenses, all the various things they found in the lint, compacted it down, and it became a 690-pound lint ball that they immediately lit on fire with help from the local fire department, just to show how flammable dryer lint really
Oh, wow.
is. So there you have it.
We've never had that
Who
conversation
would've
on the
known?
podcast in 7 years.
Who
so that
knew?
is.
You are one of a kind.
Well, now. Right.
I love it. We only the best. Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
let's hear it.
It's such a great thing to be known for.
Such a cool thing.
Yeah, right?
So you did leave corporate world, and your son wanted to start this, right?
Yes.
Because it's a franchise.
It's a franchise.
Yeah.
And initially, we purchased it because my son was graduating from high school, and he wasn't sure he wanted to go the college route. So we were trying to help him find something else to do with his life. And rather than, the money we would have spent on college, we put towards the franchise. And, he started and finished rather quickly. He lost interest pretty quickly. And
Typical
so we
mom.
just,
You
we
said,
already had it.
"Pick it
I
up."
mean, we have to keep going with
Yeah.
it. And honestly, it's been a blessing in disguise. Before we even got into dryer venting, I never had my dryer vent clean before.
Right.
I didn't know it was a thing.
Right.
I mean, my parents are the most proactive home maintenance people on the planet, and they never had their dryer vent cleaned in all my years of living
Yeah.
in their home. So
The dryer lint thing is, as you said, you didn't know about it, but now as you're watching this, the fire departments are really where you're trying to get in touch with, right? Because this
Right.
is preventative maintenance,
Right.
literally to prevent a fire.
Right.
I
And,
jump in to help.
they do a lot of great work with smoke detectors and installing smoke detectors for people. And I just think my biggest job is to bring awareness to the importance of having your dryer vent clean to reduce your risk of fire, but it also improves your dryer efficiency.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because if you're drying your towels 3 times through 3 cycles, you probably have a clogged dryer vent, and that's when you need to get that cleaned. That'll help your towels dry faster and reduce the risk of fire.
Isn't it crazy the things you learn? And you think about me as a mom, head of the household, 3 kids, constantly doing laundry. And it's something that I didn't realize or think about. But it is, as we told you, People's Gas said it was one of the top 5 fire starters that you really need to pay attention that's there. But seriously, this is a shout out to local fire departments. If you are interested in partnering with her, you are so thrilled to do this because
I'd
you
be happy
want to
to.
create
Right.
advocacy, right?
And you
Absolutely.
donate back. Speaking, we know WikiWags Candles is doing
Wiki
that.
Wags, yeah.
Sinbin, everybody's giving back. And you guys give back to the fire departments who
Yes.
you partner up with.
We've presented a couple grants to local fire departments, $500 grants.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing that, it's really interesting. I don't know if people are aware of how expensive it is to outfit one firefighter
Mm-hmm.
with all the equipment that they wear. I mean, it's around $11,000 to outfit one firefighter.
Wow.
And during the pandemic, they lost a lot of their, in-person fundraising opportunities,
Yeah.
with
Right.
spaghetti dinners and bingos and things like that. So that's when I kind of kicked in and offered a few grants around to some
So
of the
smart.
local fire departments, and
Yeah. Isn't this amazing what you learn just by getting into business? And talk about that for a second. Step away from what you actually do, but talk about what you learned about getting into business in general. You didn't just open up you don't know dryer vents. Now you have to know accounting, you have to know marketing. Talk about how that changed your life a
well,
little bit.
since we are a franchise, we do get some help with some of that. I mean, we have a great accountant up in
Yeah.
Wexford that keeps us on track. But I do the marketing is my big part of the business. That's what I do predominantly, and it's just fun. I mean, I love meeting people like you guys. I love
That was
educating
smart.
people. I love
Smart move,
being
Kim.
involved in the community. Yeah, it was very smart. And I also sit on the committee for an American Cancer Society event called Coaches versus Cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that will be held the first Wednesday in October. I believe it's the 4th of October down at PNC Park.
We've been there. It's a great event.
Yeah,
It's a great fundraiser.
Pitt, RMU, Duquesne, the women's and men's basketball coaches come together for a night of fundraising. There's live auction, there's silent auction, there's the cheerleaders, parts of the band, the mascots. It's just a really fun night, and anyone's welcome to come. You don't have to be an alumni. I mean,
it's
open
all
to
about
everyone.
community support. No question.
It's a fun time. So,
where can everybody find you and follow you online?
well, we are at Dryer Event Wizard of Greater Pittsburgh on Facebook and DVWPGH on Instagram.
It's
And
a great
I'm
little
not really
Instagram.
good at it, but
Your
I
dog
do.
is on regularly.
My dog Joey, my
Yes.
boy Joey. Yes, he's getting old, but he's like the Bob Marley of dogs. He's so mellow. Love him. But you know, it's I try to show all the pictures on there are pictures from our actual customers, so you'll see how compacted the dryer lint is in dryer vents, or the cages that are on the vent covers that shouldn't be there because the lint can't escape and it just backs up into your dry vent line, and that's when you start to have issues.
Just real
So
quick
smart.
before we go to the question of the day is, when someone calls you out, is it an hour or two? Is it a half a day, or does it depend?
It just depends on the situation.
Okay.
Every situation is unique. You know, sometimes we have to go up into the attic and clean, you know, the vents on the roof.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes we have to get up on the roof. So, you know, just Thursday we replaced 20 roof vents because the weather was beautiful. So we had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're underneath a deck, and like the tech has to find them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes they're
Sure.
hidden. And that's another thing I want to mention too, as far as home inspections go. I'm not aware that looking at the dryer vent and checking the dryer vent is a part of that.
Oh.
And it really should be something that home inspectors are looking at, because it's
That's a great point.
It's a really important home maintenance.
Well, we're in a great
task.
house if you want to go downstairs and make sure they're all.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll
here's
get my
your,
tools
Start
out
your
of the truck.
inspections now.
Put you on
yeah.
the spot. You don't remember John's name. What are you going to say?
Oh my gosh, it's so great to see you again.
You. That's a good one. That's a
Yeah.
good phrase. Yeah.
That's about what I am. Yeah.
No,
I'm
you
not-
have me. She doesn't have me. That's
Yeah.
Kim, it's a pleasure to meet you.
And thank
we
you
really
so much
appreciate
for
it.
this.
We love
so
our
much.
gifts.
This
Thank you
little
so
thing
much.
Well,
is-
you know,
oh
I
my
don't have
God.
a product, but I do have a service, so I had to bring something.
And you're good people,
You're
and
great.
that's what it's all about. So
Yeah,
thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
More
And you're still
music
listening
from
to
Chris
Chris, yeah.
Dreamer.
And Crystal, you are up. She was flipping her hair. I saw her getting her hair ready. You look super cute. Not that everyone doesn't, but look at that little outfit. I got it. I love that blazer.
Thanks.
All right,
I
we
try
good?
to keep it, but
Yeah. John does not want to be in this conversation. Did you see? He was like,
he was like, all
Rich, you
right,
ready?"
moving on.
Go, Rich. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
This is where we admit that we were completely unprepared to interview you on the radio because, you know, we got your information last minute. We looked at it. We were like, we love Katie. We're sure this will be great. And we were like, hey, Crystal, you know, blah, blah, blah. And there is this 2-page dissertation of things that you have done, and you're like 15 years old. So welcome to the YaJagoff Podcast.
Tell me more about how old
You're
you think I am.
fabulous. And how great your hair looks.
Oh God! When you're a woman in your 30s, I feel like, you know, I'm like,
Girls,
how old
just
was
stop.
Kelly? 25? Like,
Yeah,
she looks
seriously.
amazing.
I know.
Like,
I think we're
what?
the same age, and I hate her.
You look amazing.
you.
Like, oh my gosh.
But no, you know, honestly, we admit whenever we aren't, you know, completely prepared. And we literally talked to you about A Man Called Otto because that was what was happening at the time. You were a part of that. But your history here really starts way back, right? And you left and came back. You're a boomerang.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I like always wanted to get out of Pittsburgh, and I think when I was growing up here, it really wasn't like a very culturally
Absolutely.
vibrant city.
Right.
So I went to LA, and I was kind of like got tired of LA very quickly. When you grow up here, you're used to really real people,
Right.
and LA, that's
They're not.
few and far between. So came back, and I ended up booking a show here, and then ended up staying. It just kind of spiraled into one thing after another. And
So talk about that. What show did you book?
I booked a pilot called Those Who Kill with Fox, and it starred Chloe Sevigny.
Okay.
And I remember, like, she wore this green coat. She looked like the Grinch all the time on this show. She was just not like the most friendly person, you know? So it was just a very interesting, like, induction to Pittsburgh, coming on and working with, like, I had no friends in the city, you know, besides like old high school friends, and coming into this new film kind of world, small town world here. So it was really cool. It was a cool experience.
Sure.
So you went out there, kind of learned what you learned, and brought that back here, knowing. And what was the phase that the Pittsburgh film and production, service was in at that point? Were we in a lull? Were we peaking when you came back here?
I would say, honestly, it was, oh man, it feels like not that long ago, but also very long ago. Kind of in like a weird middle ground, I would say. And I just kind of jumped in and was very surprised because honestly, I never thought I would work here in the film industry, like never in a million years. So,
well, who knew Pittsburgh would be aligned with the film industry, right?
gosh,
because
yeah.
I'm sure we did a lot of one-off commercials and things like that, but to actually have the impact that we do now, like a Tom Hanks coming here and filming 2 different movies, like that's crazy.
And just the continued like presence we're getting, with more movies, TV shows. Like I did an HGTV show here that really like prominently featured Pittsburgh. So it's been cool to see all the different ways that the city has brought in production.
Right. And I think you're sort of the epitome of people can work in this industry and still live here in Pittsburgh. Because I remember many years ago, there was a gentleman, I can't remember his name. He worked on the country music channel, the TV, CTV or whatever they called it. And he hid here. He was from Pittsburgh and he lived here and would transfer himself back and forth to LA and New York without telling anybody he still lived here. But, now people can do, they don't have to hide here. But you're not involved in the acting. You're involved. What are the kind of cool logistics you've been involved in?
Oh, man. I mean, just all sorts of things, like anything from creating budgets to, making sure a schedule goes according to plan, to doing travel, to booking vendors, booking gear, booking all the things, It's like I've done so many different things and I'm always like, what would my skills even transfer to in the real world? Like, I guess I would be a really great secretary, maybe. I don't know. But I solve a lot of problems, I would say, is kind of like what I'm good at. And, just you kind of have to make a decision and just go with it. And maybe that decision's wrong and I have been wrong at times for sure. But you just kind of have to go all in and like jump off the cliff a lot of the times.
I remember talking to Carl Kurlander, who's well known in the industry here. And he said when he was in LA just trying to intern or whatever, somebody famous told him to go get a sandwich and no mayonnaise or something. And he brought it back and the sandwich was wrong. Whether it had mayonnaise, it doesn't matter. But the guy MF'd him.
Yeah.
And said, what are you doing? And then the guy after that, he said, do you know why I did that? He said, because if you want to produce movies, you can't get my order right. Why am I going to give you $5 million to make a movie if you can't get my order right on my sandwich? And to him, it kind of came full circle at that point. So it was really interesting so have you seen that kind of stuff? Like, not that I don't want you to talk about anybody that berated you, but the high end, I guess, the erraticness of it all. Have you seen that?
Yes. Oh, yes. And, I think that it's just a matter of like in our industry, you can't really train for it. Like I always think it's funny, like film school. I wish I had my parents had all that money back. You know what I mean? Because God love them, but they sent me to film school and I watched a lot of great foreign movies and, I had a yoga class and that was great. But it's stuff you only learn on set and you only learn by experiencing. Like I've PA'd and had to get like 200 coffee orders by myself in the rain in LA. And it's like stuff like that, I think, that just makes you kind of realize how important all the little things are.
That's it. Yeah.
And food is so huge. Like even today, I deal with like food still. And it's like the bane of my job because I'm like, it's such a big deal to people. And I get it also because if I'm hungry, like I'm miserable on set. So it's like a good coffee, a good lunch, like makes my day. So I get it, but it's also like people can be very particular about their orders. Totally get it.
Wow. Well, and I love the fact, we had a podcast just last week at the Mars exhibit, at the Carnegie Science Center. And it was so cool to go back. And we actually spoke with the executive director, Jason. Is that what he is, the executive director? And he was talking about how he was a teacher.
Yeah.
And never did he think that he was going to become, where he was now. And he said, I was a carpenter, I was a teacher. Those are trades that I can use for this profession. Is that what you realized? Like you went to school for film. Now you're doing all these behind the scenes things. I mean, you've worked on, like you said, Restored with the Fords.
By the Fords.
Yeah. Because we got to talk. We have to get them on this podcast.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm
they
serious.
Are amazing.
Like it's so cool that they're here. So
I
you've
love
worked
them.
with like HGTV and movie sets and things like that. What are the things that, like you said, you didn't learn in school that you're like, I know that I have to just be resourceful? Or is it literally being thrown into the experience?
I think it's a lot of like when I was coming up, right, like all the Harvey Weinstein, Me Too stuff wasn't a thing. And I was harassed and all these different things. And as a woman, I was often the only woman in, on a production. Like I remember the group of PAs that I PA'd with in LA, I was the only girl. And it was just sort of like, you have to suck it up. And like, you're not the only girl, you're a person and a person on that set. And you have to like almost make yourself genderless in a way and be like, I deserve just as much to be here as anybody else. I can do any of the jobs. Like I could carry stuff. I could do the makeup, but I could do, setting up the stand if that's what you need. Like whatever, I'm here to work. And so for me, it was always just
and
about
that's what's added to your resume.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's been, it's funny. Like the film office had me speak at Chatham not long ago, and one of the kids raised their hand, and they were like, "How do you know you've made it big in the industry?" And I was like, "Gosh, that's like such a relative question, right? Like, what do you define as big?" And they were like, big. And I was like, well, when I was in my 20s, I thought being big was like, I'm going to be this big famous producer and I'm going to work with Eli Roth and all these things. But when, in my 30s, I kind of realized like making it big has been being in Pittsburgh and being able to work. But then I go home in the evenings and I get to volunteer. And, on Tuesdays I work with this charity and we serve the homeless downtown. And that's super humbling because it's like I'll be on set with a bunch of people like getting my coffee order. And, it feels great. And then I'll go to this church downtown and we're literally pouring Tang for like homeless people. Wow. And it's really
uplifting,
rewarding.
for sure.
And I love that I can do both things and live in a city where I can afford to, do all that and have a life. So that's been like, for me, making it big,
Do you,
I feel pretty big.
Yeah.
Do you ever fly back out to LA just to tell your friends I'm flying to LA tomorrow and get kind of re-energized, rejuiced or anything?
He's been to LA twice and now he's like, I'm going to LA.
I love it. I still have friends out there from when I worked out there and went to school out there. And I love it. And I totally like milk the LA experience. I'm going to Melrose, like vintage shop. Just, I don't know. I do miss a little bit of like the glamour of it.
Yes.
But, and my friends in LA think Pittsburgh's like a farm. Like they're like, where do you go to see concerts? And I'm like, there's like a arena. Like, they're like, how's Philadelphia? I'm like, that's not where I live.
We hate
guys.
We're like, we hate that.
Yeah. So they're very confused by where I live. And they come and I'm like, we have to go to this gas station to eat. And they're like, what? I'm like, seriously, Sheets, deep fried Oreos, amazing.
Yeah.
God, that is so true. My family has a map of Sheets just in case. You never know when you're going to need that.
I love Sheets.
No, that's so true. So, you are young. What is your biggest accomplishment thus far? It sort of makes me sound like the kid in the school asking what makes you big, but you have had the opportunity that a lot of people your age have not had the opportunity to do. And you've sort of figured it out because kind of like I alluded, what you thought you were going to become, you haven't, because you've added these extra things that you know how to do now to kind of beef up your resume. So what's next and what do people essentially call you for?
So right now I just accepted a full-time role at Brunner as their newest producer downtown. And that has been amazing. For years I've been like, I would love to settle in and work with a company and do commercial work and, be a part of a team and just kind of settle in a little bit more and maybe have a family someday and all those things. And Brunner offered me the job and I've been working with Emily DeChance and Dan Magdich over there. And it's just been amazing. And I hate to say it, but I feel like I got like my dream job a little bit. And that's a little scary because you're like, it's refreshing after doing so many movies and all these things for years to have a job where they're like clock in at 9. And like when you get your work done, you are good for the day. And weekends, like they're like, stop working, Crystal. And I'm like, but I can't. So that's been taking some getting used to. But I've really loved it. So I think that's been cool. And, so I've been working with them and I'm excited to see what's next. And, I was traveling the last 2 weeks with those guys and that was great. So
I just think it's interesting is that some of us older folks talk about the resourcefulness of younger folks. And when people ask you, it seems like when people ask you how you got there, you didn't learn what you know other than being resourceful. You literally knew how to dig up a coffee order, how to get this, how to get that there. And you did it you didn't learn all of that in school. You learned all of that by just
That is
being
my biggest thing. When
resourceful.
someone says, what is so important? ask Mackenzie, I say being resourceful. If I ask you to do something, figure it out.
And I think too, like respecting everybody. You know, my parents were postal workers in like the Gibsonia area, both of them, and they really taught us that like we're middle class, but it was like you have to work if you want to get what you want, and B, like you treat everybody with respect, whether it's the janitor or the CEO, and that's kind of how I've always lived. Like for me, my greatest accomplishment is there have been a couple of young women that I've been able to mentor, and they've passed along other young women that I've been, and to me that's the most important because I never had that. And you know, being a young woman in the industry, especially when I started, like there weren't a lot of women to go to and ask questions of, and it scared the hell out of me because they were like, you either work or have a family, but you can't have it all, girl. And I was like, ugh. And maybe you can't have it all, but like I, you know, have really found it rewarding to talk and work with other young women and kind of help them get to where they want to be. I think that's been cool.
That's awesome.
You are such a bright
light.
person.
Thanks.
Like, just, it's just so amazing to know what you've accomplished just on your own by grit. True grit, you know, I love that. So,
where does everybody find you and follow you?
So, K Grandy Media is my own personal company, and then you can also call Bruner if you want to work with us now, which is very exciting. But yeah, follow me online on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Crystal Grandy, K Grandy Media. Come talk to me. We'll be friends.
And if you don't remember my name, what are you gonna say?
I am one of those people, like, I'll grab whoever in the room that I do know, and I'll be like, Darren, meet. Then I roll. Yeah. I just like get a plant, and I'm like, all right, you guys meet. So and then I'll like listen. I'm like, what's their name again?
That is so funny. That's a good one.
That's good.
Yeah.
Crystal,
I like to throw someone
much.
else into the fire.
Yeah. Hey,
thank you guys for having
so
me.
glad
Thank
to have
you so much. We appreciate
Stay
it.
in
All
touch
right,
for
we're
sure.
finally going to meet Chris Dreamer next.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, come on in here. Gang, this is our last. Chris, yeah, I like it. He had a presence. Either one is good, actually. They're both active. You can do them stereo if you want.
Lauren, we're so glad you're here.
Hi, how you doing?
We're good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. So, first of all, thank you to your girlfriend for introducing us to you, right?
Pittsburgh is so
Is she now your agent?
Basically.
Yeah.
Marketing agent.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for her, a lot of this stuff wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So she's definitely like pushed me to become even a better person.
Yeah.
Even a better businessman. So
That's
definitely.
cool. That's cool.
And so you're a producer, essentially, a music producer here in Pittsburgh. And, the way that story went down was we know Lauren from an account that we talked about, Manchester Youth Development. And we were saying, we talk to musicians every week. It's so important to us to showcase the talent that Pittsburgh has that people don't know about. Like they know Philly, they know Chicago, they know New York. But what about Pittsburgh? We have so many talents, specifically music-induced talents. And I love the fact that it's great that you can throw out Wiz Khalifa's name, but you're working with people here on the regular, beyond just, like we said, throwing big names out. Why is that such a thing for you? Have you always been into music?
I've always been into music. So I went to Taylor Olderdice.
Right.
So it's just like, it's always been around. And, I went to school with Mac Miller and all those things. So I've always been like in detail. And I think my biggest thing is like, I just want to give back to the community. And like, I work with big people, but I think my thing right now is to do EPs with almost every up and coming artist here to promote them, me, and just promote Pittsburgh as a whole.
Yeah.
I feel like that because we have so much talent and it gets overlooked by bigger cities.
Yep.
And only a few, like, you'll see the big names,
right.
But what about the other tier of, people that hang out around, anywhere? It could be the West End or Lawrenceville, and they got like a whole nother culture of talent that we really need to tap into. So that's why.
So you stuck around, right?
Yes.
Because you're too young, I guess, to remember, and I know you're about to ask a question, I'm sorry, but we always say the young people, what would happen is young people would go to school, like high school, and then they'd leave for college. Because Pittsburgh was not the place to stay. We were an old person town that it's like the lottery place, right? We're the old senior citizens. And now we are providing a little more opportunities. So what made you stay?
I just think like Pittsburgh always feels like home. And a lot of people leave and they forget, where they came from. So what I'm trying to do is just grow it from here.
Yeah.
And build like just an empire of talent. Like you don't even have to make music. You could do art, anything. Like, so I'm just trying to connect with everything. Like,
2 questions. I'll ask them both, and you can figure out you can just decide to not answer either of them, I guess. Yeah, you go, John, those are dumb questions. No, but we know the comedy world. Mm-hmm. So the comedy world has open mic nights all around the city. Are there places like that where you go to watch local talent? And then the second thing I'd like you to answer is that comedians, when they're out there, they go, someone comes up to them and says, "Oh, I know a really funny person for you." What do you do when people approach you and say, "Oh, my son, my daughter is really good," and you're like, "Well, do you give everybody a chance?" And then is there this open mic night kind of area where people can go?
So when people approach me, I give them a chance. So
okay.
I like send their music to my email, or if they want to rap on or do anything on the spot, I'm really open.
Okay.
Cause like I have an ear for like, it doesn't matter what type of genre you do. Like I've done Bollywood music before. I got over like 10 million views on a Bollywood song.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can look it up. It's called Mashallah.
I saw that. Yeah.
By the Moonlight. It has 11 million views right now. And it's a Bollywood.
But who's counting?
Yeah.
He's like 11,136,000, but.
But yeah, I'm open to all genres and. Swear. What was the other question?
And then the other one is really, where do you go
mic.
to? Like the comedians have
That's a
open
good
mic
question,
nights
yeah.
all around the city. What are the pockets in the city here that you can go to, or if someone's interested, can go watch it to see how they can learn?
So I've actually been trying to find the newer spots and trying to find those places. I think there's a place I'm checking out. It's called the Thunderbird Cafe.
Oh yeah.
So I see a lot of talent go there, so I'm going to start going there more.
Do you know Byron Nash? Mm-mm. He's a guitarist. He has done a couple of tribute things there. He did the Queen tribute, and what was the most recent one? I can't. Stevie Nicks.
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac. Mm-hmm. They're doing like old bands that they're bringing back and doing it in their newer style. And he's great musician in the city. We'll have to connect you because he performs there a lot. Yeah. And that's a great place.
Swear,
and you live in Lawrenceville, so
yeah, it's right down the street. I didn't think it was that big, and then
you go in. Yes,
I'm like, because it looks like a little bar. I'm like, you walk past it, then it's like, oh.
Yeah, now there's 3 floors of this stuff, but yeah, I mean that's what I want. Just curious, if I have a kid who wants to do this, where do I help them learn this? Mm-hmm. I guess they can learn it on YouTube, but if they can meet someone like you, that's where they can really get the help, and you can decide whether they're maybe they should go be a plumber or whether they should continue to be a musician, right?
Or I give like real good criticism. So it's not so like, oh, you're bad. Yeah. So it's not like, oh, you're bad or nah, that wasn't good. I'll be like, hey, add a little bit this next time. Maybe layer your voice more, different things like that. And oh, it's getting better. Mm-hmm. Just keep coming back. And then I'll be like, okay, that's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
But I'm like, if it's bad at first, I'm not going to be like, I'm like, oh, okay, work on a couple things here and there. And, we can go from there. So, like, I'm open to all musicians.
And there's not really a schooling for that, right? No. It's more your ear. You have it. You don't.
Yeah. So, like, I didn't even go to school for music. So, I play by ear. And it just comes naturally when I make music. Or, like, if I play a note or something, just from that note, it could be a different type of beat. I could go into making a R&B beat or something like that. Then next thing I know, it's dance hall or EDM or it's just something off the wall.
What instrument do you play?
Piano. And I work with this. It's like a standalone. It's called Machine.
Okay.
It's like a drum machine a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I work with that mainly. That's like my go-to. I chop samples in there. I do a lot. I make my own samples off my own music that I make. Okay. So mostly the music I make is mine. It's no samples. Mostly like the melodies and everything I make is just like off my hand. Then I'll sample myself again and then I'll just make a whole different type of genre.
Keep going process, yeah.
And that's how I got my signature sound, I think.
Do you bounce stuff off of Lauren?
We love Lauren. Can you tell?
Yeah. Is she an honest bouncer offer?
So like we be up late night. Are we making beat if we roll out?
Okay.
Sometimes like I make scary stuff. So like eventually I'm really trying to get into like soundtrack for movies.
Okay. Games,
video games.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
right.
trying to get into that field a lot. So like
That's smart.
Yeah. And so like I'll play something scary. She's like, oh. How's that? Like I play like some Jason type stuff sometimes on the piano.
I would not listen.
And I play some regular stuff, and she'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's all right." And I'll change the pitch. How's that sound? Go back again, and I'll be like,
Okay.
See the difference? So she's starting to learn now. So she'll be like, "Okay, that's good.
Okay,
I like that." And she'll tell me it's good because I'll play the song or melody like 20 times.
Okay.
And it'll just be on repeat. Yeah. I know my neighbors hate me. It's loud.
Yeah, Chris, it is so awesome that you came to be at the podcast.
Another one
here.
who we got to chat with on the radio, and we were like, "This is not enough time. Let's talk to him a little bit longer."
Where does everybody find you online?
You can go on my Instagram, Chris Dreamer, no spaces, no nothing, just Chris Dreamer. Type me in, and if you DM me, I'll DM you back. If you looking for music or different stuff like that. I'm also on Twitter, Chris Dreamer, no spaces, and you can look me up on there and whatever, or Facebook.
Okay.
You're even an FB'er.
All right.
A little bit.
A little
Hit me up on Facebook, Chris
said
Monroe.
He said that to patronize us.
Yeah,
right.
He wants to be like, lady, like the whole thing.
If you don't do the Instagram or Twitter, you can go on Facebook. I'm Chris Monroe.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's right. We
All
can
right.
find you there, too.
Definitely.
Chris, if you don't know somebody's name, what's your go-to phrase?
I think I heard of them.
Oh, okay.
That's good. I think I met you. Yeah, that's good.
I think I heard them.
Yeah.
Someone be like, da-da-da. I'll be like, yeah,
That's funny.
You did it to me earlier. That's so funny. Yeah, you did. Because I told him, Mr. Wilson, if you're watching, I told him you know him, so you better figure out how you know him. That's what's
funny.
going on. Yeah. Listen, you're the Michael Bivins, right? I'm a huge Pal Biv DeVille. I can't help it, but you remind me of that. Like, you want people to come up. If you've watched the BET did a great thing on New Edition and how they came together, and it was literally Michael Bivin in an alley, and people would literally walk up to him and just audition. Like, that's the cool part. It's very organic, right?
I swear, like,
I love it.
It's just amazing, like what you guys do too, of promoting up and coming talent or talent that just hasn't been discovered.
Sure. Yeah.
So, yep. Also, I got an EP dropping soon.
All right.
Okay.
I had to throw that in there.
Do it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's an instrumental tape with all my music, no words, no nothing. So it'd be something for anybody that can join. Or, just travel to. Like.
Absolutely.
That's where you've been listening to in and out of our guests, and you'll hear the entire song as we get out of here, right?
Yep. And I'm also doing a EP with artists that I've worked with and up-and-coming artists in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So I'm working on 2 EPs for the summer. So it's going to be...
Follow you to find out
Make
more.
sure we
It's
know
gonna
when
be
they're coming
exciting.
out. Make sure we
let
know
us
when they're
know.
I'm
coming
going to have
out.
a little, maybe a live party, little...
Do it.
Event.
Do it at Kelly's other house when she breaks open the other house.
Yeah. Maybe I can get
We'll
that
book
house.
it. We'll book it.
Let me know.
We will. Chris, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate you.
It was a pleasure.
We appreciate it, man.
All right.
Thank
And
you.
Lauren,
All right,
we
so
love
that's
our
the
Lauren.
YaJagoff Podcast. We have to say thank you to Tracy. Thank you to Cousin Lisa. Thank you to all of our sponsors that we talked about here. And thank you, of course, to our guests, Kelly and Jason. Thank you to Chris Dreamer. Thank you to Kim from Dryer
We had
Vent.
a ton of people.
Wizard.
I'm tired from talking.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you to Tracy for trying to get you in on Grease.
No, she's
And
like, you're
Chris,
not
if
good
you
enough.
know of any Grease productions
Chris,
coming
let's just
up,
make
let
our
us
own
know.
production.
I'm totally down.
I don't need Grease.
Or a Belle Biv DeVoe tribute band. That would be Rachel.
Do you love New Edition? Do you know who New Edition is?
Yep.
Okay, thank God.
I know.
I'm not that old.
And of course, thank you to Crystal Grandy. And thank you to Rory Conda.
Price is important. Customer satisfaction priceless. This phrase is key for Rorik Honda customers, past and future, to know. Have you visited our Bloomfield location?
Visit RorikHonda.com for all of your vehicle needs.
Have a great
That's
weekend.
it. Bye, guys.
See you guys.